Welcome back to Samathics. Today's video is about graphs of absolute function, where function is quadratic. To understand graphs of absolute function, where function is a quadratic, you must already know how to sketch graph of quadratic function, like y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. Let's do an example of sketching graph of y is equal to x squared minus 2x minus 3. First of all, to sketch the graph, we have to find out x and y intercepts. For y-intercept, we have to take x as 0. So when we will take here 0 and here as well 0, then we will be left with minus 3. So the coordinates where the graph intersects the y-axis is 0, comma, minus 3. Then we have to take out x-intercepts. For an x-intercepts, we have to take y as 0. So it means x squared minus 2x minus 3 is equal to 0, which can be solved, which can be factorized using middle term breaking. We have here minus 3. It will be multiplied by 3x squared. So we'll get minus 3x squared. Then you have to make factors in such a way that when you add or subtract, you get minus 2. So minus 3x plus x are the factors of minus 3x squared, which will give the result as minus 2x when added and minus 3x squared when multiplied. Let's take common x minus 3 plus 1, x minus 3. X plus 1, x minus 3. So we have x plus 1 is equal to 0, x minus 3 is equal to 0, x is equal to minus 1, and x is equal to 3. So the coordinates are minus 1, comma 0 and 3, comma 0. Then we have to take out x coordinate of the minimum point. As the value of a here is positive, a is greater than 0, so it has a minimum point. For x coordinates of minimum point, we have to add these two x-intercepts and divide by 2. Minus 1 plus 3 divided by 2, which gives 1. For y coordinate, of the minimum point, we have to substitute this value of x in the equation which is given in the question. 1 square minus 2 into 1 minus 3, which is equal to minus 4. So the minimum point is 1, comma minus 4. Now we can sketch the graph easily. We can mark these points on grid. We have here 0. We can mark here 1, 2, 3, 4, here minus 1. We have minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. As y-intercept is 0, comma minus 3, so we can mark this point over here. Minus 1, comma 0, here, 3, comma 0, here. And the minimum point is 1, comma minus 4. So 1, comma minus 4 is here. If minimum point is at 1, comma minus 4, it means that at x is equal to 1, there is line of symmetry. So we can draw a line of symmetry at x is equal to 1. Now we can join these points by a smooth curve. Now we'll do how to sketch the graph of the modulus function. These lines means absolute value. So any negative output becomes positive because of this absolute sign. To sketch the graph of the modulus function, first of all, we have to sketch the graph of the quadratic function. Then we have to reflect the part of the curve which is below the x-axis. Let's do an example of sketching the graph of y is equal to x squared minus 2x, which is absolute. As we have already drawn the graph of y is equal to x squared minus 2x minus 3 in the previous example, so we will be considering the same for sketching the graph of absolute function. We have 0 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 1, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 1, and 3 are the x-intercepts. Minus 3 is y-intercept. 1, comma, minus 4 is the minimum. We will sketch the original graph by joining these points. For graph of absolute function, we have to reflect all the values which are below the x-axis. For graph of absolute function, all the values which are negative will become positive. So we can mark here 3 and here 4. So the y-intercept will be here, and the turning point or minimum point will now become the maximum point, and it will be at 1, comma 4. And the graph which is below the x-axis is to be reflected above the x-axis. Can erase this part of the curve, and the graph of absolute function is to be like this. This part was below the x-axis, and it is reflected because of this absolute function. A graph of the function y is equal to x squared plus 4x minus 12 is shown below. This part is reflected and it was below the x-axis. Now it is above the x-axis. We can use this graph to find the number of solutions of equation absolute value of x squared plus 4x minus 12 is equal to k, where k is a constant and is greater than or equal to 0. The number of solutions depends on how high or low the value of k is. When the value of y is 0, then x squared plus 4x minus 12 is equal to 0 has two solutions. Which means the line is intersecting this graph at 2 points. In the same way, if we draw a line at y is equal to 10, then x squared plus 4x minus 12 is equal to 10 has 4 solutions. You can see this graph is intersecting y is equal to 10 at 4 different points. In the same way, if we'll draw a line at y is equal to 16, then x squared plus 4x minus 12 is equal to 16 has 3 solutions. Means the graph is intersecting y is equal to 16 at 3 different points. In the same way, if we'll draw a line at y is equal to 17, then absolute of x squared plus 4x minus 12 is equal to 17 has 2 solutions. We can sum up this in the table. When the value of k is 0, then the number of solutions are 2. When the value of k is in between 0 and 16, it means greater than 0 and less than 16. Then at every point, the graph will intersect that line at 4 different points. When k is equal to 16, then there are 3 solutions. For the values, k is greater than 16 means 17, 18 or any value, then the number of solutions are 2. So always sketch the graph first, then look at the horizontal line y is equal to k to count the number of intersection points. We can solve absolute value equations algebraically as well. We can write x squared plus 4x minus 12 is equal to 16. Another time we can write it as x squared plus 4x minus 12 is equal to minus 16. Then we'll solve the equations. X squared plus 4x minus 12 and minus 16 will become minus 28 is equal to 0. We cannot solve this quadratic equation by factorization, so we have to use here quadratic formula, for which we have to write down the values of a, b, and c. A is 1, b is 4, and c is minus 28. So x is equal to minus 4 plus minus under root b square, 4 square, minus 4ac, 4 into 1 into minus 28, divided by 2a. You can simplify it to minus 4 plus minus under root 128 upon 2. Under root 128 can be written as 8 under root 2 divided by 2. Then we can take 2 as common from the numerator so that it can be cancelled out by the denominator. So we can cancel out this. So we have here minus 2 plus minus 4 under root 2, or we can say x is equal to minus 2 plus 4 under root 2, and x is equal to minus 2 minus 4 under root 2. Then we'll solve this. X square plus 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. It can be solved using middle term breaking. Plus 2x are the factors of 4x square. Then we can take x as common. X plus 2 plus 2, x plus 2 is equal to 0. So we have x plus 2 and x plus 2. It means that we have one value of x, that is x is equal to minus 2. Absolute of x square plus 4x minus 12 is equal to 16 means where the graph of absolute function intersects the line y is equal to 16. So you can see it's intersecting the graph at 3 different points. One is this. Another one is this. And the third one is this. Here, x is equal to minus 2. Here, x is equal to minus 2 minus 4 under root 2. And here, x is equal to minus 2 plus 4 under root 2. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more math videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.